I'm just one man, but I'm the one man band. Not ashamed. We know just where we stand. We're cleaning this mess up that you.
Alrighty, well, welcome to the Stack Hard podcast. This is an exclusive interview with Ivelisse from Lucha Underground, also known as Sofia Cortez. She's been wrestling all over the world for the longest period of time, for about 11 years, I believe, since she was in her lower teens. And it's just been very impressive wherever she goes. You know, she was in the TNA Gut Check, also Tough Enough season 5, I believe it was. um, she got taken out of the competition with a injury, then was later signed, I think, in November. She got injured in June, signed in November to Florida Championship Wrestling, which is now known as NXT. So she's in Lucha Underground. She was the first woman to ever face the world champion over there, and a lot of firsts today. She's the first female guest on our podcast. Also, the first time I am going in solo without my podcast partner, Kevin. So that's why I chose that song, because today I am a one man band, basically. Anyway, let's get her on the phone. Let's talk to her, ask her some questions, and we have a lot to talk about for sure. So, with everything she's been doing in her career, it's been incredible.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Yeah, so you're here on the Stack Card podcast. Just wanted to see how your day has been so far.
Been alright.
I hear you. Well, I did see about 14 hours ago you posted on Twitter that you are now cleared to wrestle again.
Yes, that's correct. I did re-injure the same ankle that I injured last time, and now I'm finally free of that. So I'm looking forward to that not ever happening again, ever.
Now, was it a broken leg?
It was a broken ankle.
Broken ankle.
Yes, pretty much the tip of the outer ankle bone crushed into the one underneath it.
Wow.
Around that callus area, and also I tore a ligament halfway in, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened this time. But thankfully, I learned a lot from the first time that I had broken it, and this recovery was 3 times faster, so I'm pretty happy about that.
That's great. I can only imagine you must have been training very hard to get back into the ring and whatnot, and to be able to heal this injury.
Oh, yeah.
An ankle is not something to play around with either, because you have to use your leg to walk, you know? It's not like a shoulder injury.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's very, now, did you also hurt your leg? Because I know you were injured on Tough Enough as well, which made you had to drop from the competition. Did you also hurt your leg that time as well?
Yeah, it was actually the same leg.
Wow.
But it was an abductor muscle in the leg. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much if you hurt anything on your lower extremities, you're pretty much 100% screwed, because you can't do anything at all. At least when you hurt something, on your upper extremity, you can still move and stuff. Like, I literally had the best run of my career on a messed up shoulder, where I literally shredded my shoulder, and I still managed around. But you mess something up on your lower extremity, you're done.
Wow.
You're out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's very difficult, especially when you have to be kept away from doing something that you love so much. And I mean, clearly you love the sport of professional wrestling. You've been doing it since you were in your early teens, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, since I was 15.
Yeah, and you started in Puerto Rico and whatnot, and basically sacrificed everything, to get to
Yes.
where you are. I think
Yes.
I saw in another interview that you also sacrificed your high school education.
Didn't sacrifice it, but it did affect a little bit. I was literally a 4.0 high honor student, and it affected it a little bit because I was kind of trying to juggle with both. But I mean, I still managed to pass with honors. But
That's great.
I did give up further education from that in order to pursue my career, which was, some may think of it as really dumb, and some may think of it as like, oh, it's an act of passion. So, I mean, either way, it's still, a sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you had to move from your family as well. That was a big challenge, I'm sure, that you had to go through.
Definitely a big challenge when you pretty much embark on a journey with absolutely nothing,
Hmm.
just a clothes on your back, and, you don't really have much support of anyone around you because they think what you're doing is stupid and pointless. But yeah, I managed.
Yeah, and you definitely, I mean, proved all the doubters wrong, and you made it. And your family, you have a good relationship with your family now. Is that right?
How is my relationship with my family now? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm still busy. Like, I don't feel, in any way, shape, or form that I've made it. To me, I have accomplished a lot, and, I'm very grateful for all the opportunities that I've worked hard to get, and, but I'm never satisfied. It's something that that's just the type of person I am. I always want more and more and more. I want to, achieve more, want to develop myself more. There's still a lot more to grow. I just, it's a never ending story with me in terms of that. But I still am, still a bit estranged from my family because, I'm still by myself, still continuing on this journey to success, and, I feel like I've had quite a good deal of success so far, but, I still want to continue to strive to succeed more and more, and, it's still the same sacrifices, need to take place in order for me to, keep achieving more, and it's still pretty much the same in terms of, I still have to sacrifice being able to spend time with them or anything like that, but, at least at this point, I do feel like their view of what I'm doing is different, and, so I feel like at first it was more like, oh, what are you doing? She's wasting her time, and then now I feel like it's more like they're proud of what I've done, and,
Yeah,
especially knowing what I went through to be where I'm at now.
of course. It's a great sense of accomplishment, especially with the injuries you went through and whatnot. And you're still at a very young age. I mean, a lot of the female wrestlers, just wrestlers in general, don't have their breakout until, I don't know, sometimes it's mid 30s. So it's great.
Yeah,
And
I mean, the thing is, it's very, very different for women and men when it comes to wrestling, because wrestling is considered the entertainment, type of business, and unfortunately, us women, we do have to deal with a lot of double standards, in the sense of, once we reach 30, it's like, okay, she's too old,
yeah,
and it sucks so that it's like the more that we can make out of our, and obviously this doesn't apply to everyone, but it is something that we deal with, and our career span is very different compared to guys and stuff like that. So, I'm 27 now. So far I've been wrestling for 12 years, and I can start feeling that pressure, even though I'm still pretty young. I can still feel that pressure of that double standard, when it comes to us women in the entertainment business. And it's just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So,
Yeah.
But either way, I still look forward to continuing to do what I love and trying to, improve and every chance I get and.
Of course, yeah, and the women's division has changed so much. The knockouts in TNA, the Divas in WWE, uh, there was that whole revolution and whatnot. And definitely, I think female wrestlers are getting more opportunities to showcase their talents. It seemed like they were doing it a lot in WWE towards early last year. Now, since the past, I don't know, 6 months or so, it seems like that has kind of died down. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, or if you watch the WWE product, but
I really believe that, it's like this revolution thing. It's like I have different perspectives on it. Like,
mhm,
I'm extremely happy that the female stars, are getting more, getting more time, more deserved time, more credit, more, all of that, and that is awesome. That makes me happy, and also goes along with women's MMA. That also, I see that, and it makes me happy. It makes me so happy.
mhm,
And the entire time that I've been involved in my career of wrestling, of pro wrestling, and I've trained. I have had the thought before to get into women's MMA as well, and it's like, I'm very, very pro, empowering women. I really feel like we do get the short end of the stick in male-dominated businesses, like any other, sports or male-dominated businesses. And, anytime women get to flourish, and get the credit they deserve and they work hard for it, like, that makes me happy. And I don't agree with some women who try to, like, single-handedly say, oh, okay, I'm the one, that's creating this hype for women's wrestling, or I'm the one responsible for this revolution. Like, there's no such thing as one single person responsible for an entire, something that, a change that takes a lot of different people together to be able to create, and, it's and a lot of different people with a certain mindset in order to achieve that type of change. It's like, that's one thing I don't agree with.
yeah,
When one single person single-handedly wants to claim that they change, a whole sport or a whole, for, and that even goes along with women's MMA as well. Like, when people say, oh, Ronda Rousey, she did this, it's like, okay, she achieved a lot of herself, and that's awesome, and that's nice. Like, but you can't just single-handedly say that she's just the sole purpose of the reason why this and that. But, like, there's been lots of women before her, putting in time, effort, sacrifice, blood, sweat, tears, also. She was blessed enough to be that one person who, Dana White felt that he could, push and all that, and, felt like, you know what I'm saying? But,
yeah,
like, before that, there was Gina Carano, there was Chris Cyborg, and all this stuff where there was a time that women were starting to get that, but then it got, shut down and stuff like that, comes and goes, and, like, now it's more consistent, and that makes me happy. But it's like, I just, I love and I feel so happy
mhm,
that, when we women, wherever it is, wherever in the world, which company, whether it's indies or bigger companies, anywhere, where we get that, credit we deserve. But I just don't agree when, anyone wants to claim it off themselves, because that's just not how it works.
yeah. Because without the other females, none of that would be possible. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
And when they started, I agree. I mean, I did not like the whole idea of them claiming the revolution and whatnot. Because for me, I've always thought female wrestling has always been very good. There were certain times where it wasn't the best, but if you look back to Trish Stratus, and I believe you faced Jazz at one point in your career as well.
Yeah, because I was very honored, because I grew up watching Jazz, Victoria, Molly
Mm-hmm.
Holly. It's like all that era was very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's never existed before. There's been groups of people who together, work hard to attempt some type of change or something, and it's just like,
Yeah.
it takes a lot. It takes consistency from individuals individuals like that or group of individuals like that. It's just consistency to actually be able to really create and solidify a real change within something like that, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of female wrestling, you were also the first female to compete against Mil Muertes for the Lucha Underground title. What was that
yeah.
match like going up against, a big guy's, the world champion?
I mean, I was very, very, very happy about that. I am very honored as well again too because, you know, not just because it was a chance for me,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just again, it feels like it's a chance for me, but I'm also representing, you know, women in general. So it's like it was a double, you know, fulfilling thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very thankful for that. And it's and then personally, you know, myself personally, I was very comfortable with that opportunity. You know, he's actually, you know, Puerto Rican. We actually come from the same
Oh, wow.
same background. Him obviously from way before me.
Mm-hmm.
But he has way more experience than me. But you know, I had met him before when I was starting in Puerto Rico and stuff, and you know, we pretty much started from the same, you know, kind of the same path, sort of. And it was I was very happy as well in that sense, you know, to represent a little tiny island and where we came from, like, you know, like that's a personal touch to, you know, why was that fulfilling for me, and you know, I trusted, you know, his ability, and you know, it was a very great experience, and it was great working with him, easy, and yeah, it was great.
So you would say that you're a pro supporter of intergender matches then? You agree with that decision?
I honestly, I don't. I'm not a pro of it being like something like every single time, like all the time. You know, I'm definitely pro with it being an option. You know,
Yeah.
and it being open, but you know, the thing with intergender wrestling is that it's a very, very delicate, how can I say, it's a very delicate idea.
Yeah.
Very delicate idea because what we're out there to do is to create pretty much create reality out of an illusion, you know? So
Yeah.
it's you know, like any other match, whether it be male or female, like if you are constantly putting the same, you know, okay, here's the underdog, here's the bigger one, like that story can only go so far so many times. So it's a very delicate. It has to be done with much care.
Of course.
And first of all, for it to be believable, that's what it's supposed to be doing. And secondly, to be able to get the best out of it. And I just, you know, I definitely am all pro for intergender matches, but it has to be done the right way. I feel.
Of course. Yeah, it has to be the right story.
For example, when I wrestled Mil, I definitely put that into consideration. And I feel like that is one of the biggest reasons why people watching it like got so into it, because I definitely, you know, not I, but me and him as well, like want to really make it believable, you know, like I'm tiny, of course he's gonna overpower me. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Of course he's toy with me. There's no question about that. You know, and it's like the only times that I could ever find some type of advantage, not overpower him, not, you know, whatever. The times that I can, it was a build-up. I kept trying to find different ways, you know, that I could use my own body weight against his, which is completely different. And obviously, gravity's the only thing that I could use my advantage. So it's like strategically, intelligently trying to make it believable is what I'm pro about intergender matches.
Of course. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It can't happen all the time. I mean, there were a few intergender matches that I've seen, and the guy's like snapping a steel chair over the female's back and whatnot, and a lot of fans actually start chanting and they say one more time, one more time. Me, on the other hand, I just try to turn my head. The way I see it, a lot, and a lot of people do. I've had people come up to me and say as well that it's like saying that it's okay, for the kid in the crowd. It's kids follow by example, and some of these children look up to the wrestlers and whatnot, and they say, well, hey, look, it's okay to hit females, and I think I
It's
think
just, again, yeah, like, it's a very delicate, it has to be done with very much,
yeah,
thought.
I
And
think
it's like, of course, like, if I were to be wrestling a lightweight,
hmm
because that's different, Mill is a heavyweight. So
yeah,
the way I would wrestle him would be a completely, different way I would wrestle a lightweight type of
hmm
wrestler, male wrestler.
yeah,
Like, with that, I have a little bit more leeway to, do more or whatever because it's a realistic standpoint. Yes, she'll still have more power than me. Yes, she'll still have more, but, it's completely different story, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, for instance, I did catch that match on YouTube from Lucha Underground. It was you versus Angelico, and that was an incredible match. You did some kind of like crossbody flip from the top rope to the outside of the ring during that match, and it was amazing. I enjoyed it very much. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
you I like your style of wrestling. It's very cool. You basically do it all in there. You're very fast paced. Also, very good with submissions as well. I've seen you put some chokes on people. Also, like target certain body parts such as the legs, the arms. I know you do a wrist lock as well. And just the kicks and punches that you do are incredible.
thank you.
Yeah, anytime. I was wondering if you could face anybody that you haven't faced yet. Who would you pick to face?
Male or female, or does it matter?
Yeah, anybody.
I mean, honestly, again, I always, every time this question comes up, I always say, like, I really, like, I'm such a such an artist, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
that I really, really, like, anybody that I face, I love trying to figure out what would be the best way to make, best match possible out of the person. I look forward to wrestling everyone. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I really, because to me, every person is a different puzzle, and just the fact that I could create a different story with a completely different, like just figuring out how, I don't know. That's just how I am. And that applies male or female. But one person that I particularly have not had a chance to wrestle, and that I would like to be again, Gildan.
Yeah.
Would be Gildan. Right now, I would say, but I really do really enjoy wrestling anybody
Mm-hmm.
because I love that process. That's what I love the most. That process of trying to figure out how to best make a story.
Of course.
Every single person is completely unique.
Yeah. No, and that's how you create dream matches. That's how you, I think, I mean, I'm not like a professional wrestler trainer or anything, but I think that's really how you become the best wrestler in the world, or one of the best, is that it's like you said, you figure out how to work with different styles. That way you can work with the powerful people, you can work with the fast people, because you see a lot of people get in the ring, and one guy looks like an incredible wrestler, and then when he goes up against someone else that's not also an incredible wrestler, he doesn't look as good in the ring. And that's because sometimes it's just, they stick to their style and they don't adapt to their opponent's style. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that I think
Yeah.
that's huge, like you said. Um, you had a 60-minute match as well that ended in a draw. Is that correct?
At Shine 20
Yep.
with Serena D.
Yes. I was looking for that match everywhere because I saw you versus Serena D, and it lasted 60 minutes. It was a draw. I mean, was that the longest match you've ever wrestled in? Awesome.
And it's kind of very ironic that it wasn't as, I thought, I mean, I didn't think, but I was like, you would think I would have been like, I can't move by the time I was done, but it felt good. Like, Steve is an amazing worker as well, and it shows, that obviously, that was the first time that we ever wrestled, and the fact that we were able to pull off 60 minutes, without completely injuring each other or something like that, because we had never wrestled each other before. And it obviously shows the level of expertise to be able to do that, and it was a really, really good experience. I love challenges. Anytime, like whether it be a special match, like whether it be a special stipulation or anything like that. I love the challenge of trying to figure out how to make it great. So.
Yeah, that's really incredible. And you've also wrestled in different locations as well. You started in Puerto Rico. I've seen you've also wrestled in China as well. What atmosphere do you think was the most enjoyable to wrestle in front of? Which location did you like the most?
I mean, I don't know. I appreciate all different, like, it's just, I see everything like a challenge to figure out. There's nothing that really, like, I mean, because every crowd is different. Every crowd, every area is different. Honestly, I enjoy the most wrestling here in the U.S. just because, like, I guess it's where I've wrestled the longest.
Yeah.
And the most consistent, and it's something I've enjoyed, is trying to figure out how to master, I guess, like working the U.S. But I do look forward a lot to wrestling in Japan, so that should be happening pretty soon.
That's great.
I haven't been able to, like, ever since 2004. 2004, I've had the chance, but there's just like contract things that have happened ever since then, and have not been able to. But hopefully this year will be the year, and I'm very looking forward to that.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, for sure. And you also are the longest reigning Shine champion. Is that still standing?
Currently, yes.
Okay, cool. Wow, that's a huge accomplishment. A lot of great female athletes came through Shine. Also, Mia Yim, who is Jade in TNA, she wrestled in Shine as well. And she wrestled in Shine as well. I believe you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, she's the one who ended my longest reign.
Wow. Well, now I think if Sienna can't get the job done, Sienna this Sunday at Slammiversary, maybe it will be your job to go to Impact and ruin her reign as champion, kind of get some payback.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be exciting. I mean, because you have wrestled Allison Kay, who is Sienna, Mia Yim, Jade, Maria Kanellis, who you also beat for the Family Wrestling Entertainment Championship.
Yes.
And like you said, you would like to face Gail Kim. So those four are the knockouts who are facing the Sunday at Slammiversary. I'm a huge fan of TNA as well. So to be able to see you compete there would be very fun from a fan's perspective as well. What do you think would be next for your career? What are your future goals in the next 5 years?
Well, I mean, I still have a lot of remaining demons, personal remaining demons that still have to work through and work with. I'm looking forward to return to the ring and just pretty much just leave this whole year and a half just be like a big bad dream that and as if it never happened. And I'm hoping I could finally regain my momentum and just go right back where I left off. That's really what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, that's. I just want to take it one day at a time. One day at a time.
So do you believe that you'll stay in Lucha Underground? Because I do not have the El Rey network, and I've been trying to find it. I have Xfinity. I'm on the East Coast, but I typed in my zip code on the El Rey network channel finder. Could not find it. I'm trying to catch whatever I can online because I just heard it's amazing. And I'm a huge fan of John Morrison, Chavo Guerrero, and also Jeff Cobb, who was at the recent Beyond Wrestling event. I'm not sure if you've heard of Beyond Wrestling before.
I do plan to continue working with Lucha Underground, and I do plan on going to Japan. So hopefully Japan will be, something that will help me, get back on track.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Japan.
Positive thoughts, and praying that it'll keep on the positive track.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do is try to think positive. Because that's really in the end that's all you have is positive thoughts, and you gotta keep a positive soul and heart and just keep fighting for what you want. And I mean from the talent I've seen that you have, you'll have no problem getting back up into the top, and I'm sure you'll exceed your goals in the future. Just from what I've seen, one of the best female wrestlers I've seen, just from the matches I've watched. It's been very incredible watching you, and it's been great talking to you as well for this half hour. Are there any social media, website, anything you'd like to plug before we wrap the interview up?
You can interact with me on Twitter. That's actually the best way to interact with me is Twitter, which my Twitter handle is @RealIvelisse, and Instagram @Ivelisse.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll definitely catch you soon, and I'll keep an eye out for all your matches and whatnot. And it was great talking to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you very much, Ivelisse. Take care.
Take care.
Bye. So there you have it. That's Ivelisse from Lucha Underground, just recovering from an ankle. I know an ankle injury is never fun. It's something I sustained last year playing football in college. I just rolled it, honestly, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as her injury, but I did have, I do have pictures I will not show. It was just like a big purple bowling ball, pretty much. Not as big as bowling ball, maybe a baseball, but yeah, it kept me out for a while. So I know what that's like, and for her to come back after all those injuries and keep fighting for her dream and basically against all odds, without the family support and whatnot, she set out to do this career on her own as a teenager. And when you're in that teenage years, you're influenced a lot by people, parents, friends. She wanted something, and she stuck with her gut instinct, and she just went for it. And she's been very successful. She's wrestled in all these different countries. And yeah, she's going to be in Japan. Also, Lucha Underground. She also, which we didn't get to, she had the Trios Championship, which is something you don't see in a lot of wrestling organizations. It's basically for like 6-man tags, pretty much. 6-man woman tags. And which is pretty cool. They won that twice. She won it with Angelico and Son of Havoc. And what I thought was cool, and you could check this match out, the incredible match I was talking about with Angelico, Ivelisse and Angelico is on YouTube. It's on the El Rey Network YouTube, I believe. And Son of Havoc, who was the third partner in that stable, was a special ref, I believe. Yes. So it was incredible. Basically, Son of Havoc just wasn't counting. And Matt Striker's like, "What's he doing?" Whatever. And Helico went to kick Son of Havoc, accidentally kicked Ivelisse. I'm not going to tell you the rest, but Lucha Underground, you could catch her there. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to do this interview. And it's been an interesting run doing this by myself. I mean, it's only lasted 34 minutes, but definitely look forward to getting my other colleague, my co-host, my co-owner, Kevin, back on the show. Tomorrow night we'll be interviewing Keith Lee, who's from Limitless Wrestling. Also made his debut at Beyond against Donovan Dijak. Had one of the most impressive matches of the night. He's around 300 pounds. I believe Rich Palladino said 318. I saw on the Fighter Database 290, so possibly gained some weight with all that weightlifting and training he's been putting in. He wrestled Dijak, and he was doing flips and tricks over the rope. And he's also going to be fighting at the next event. He's fighting John Silver. So it would be cool to see Ivelisse come to this Beyond Wrestling as well. I would like to see her face up against Kimberly and, I mean, just all the other incredible competitors. Jordan Grace, Veda Scott. They have a lot of good wrestlers down there. But yeah, you can catch her down there, and you can catch us here tomorrow. I'm going to be doing an Impact show. We'll be doing a Keith Lee interview, and we'll be doing our regular show as well. So I think we're all set. So I'm going to head off to work. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. It's Matt. I'm signing off. The one-man band, probably the one time only. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.